Okay, we are ready to roll. We are ready to roll. We got Eitan, Adina, Ariella, and Tehila. So far, you're the ones who are on time. Okay, just to let you know, like I said, all those Shabbos treats from last week are there. So if your parents said that you did a good job, then you could take one treat for yourself. And Amir Hashem will do it next week as well. Finish the chart.
Your internet is
we left you.
Your internet is really bad and it's hard to hear you. It's glitchy.
Well, that's nothing. I don't know if I can do anything about that. Can you hear it now?
Yeah, it's better.
How about now?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
All right, it's gonna make it louder. I'm gonna make it really loud. And if you want to make it softer, you could make it softer. How's that? Okay, thank you for telling me that. Okay, we left you in the middle of the sixth Makkah. Okay, we did Arov Dever. Who knows? Oh, now we're gonna have problems. We got the vacuum cleaner. 1 second. Okay, we're going to have some technical difficulties because the cleaning lady is vacuuming, and I think you hear it a little bit in the background. It's not. Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
You can hear me. Okay, so I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about that. It's going to be just a nuisance in the background because the cleaning lady is working here today. Okay, we're on the next three makkahs. We did Arov, we did Dever, and we started the boils. So who could tell me what's the first letter I want to put on the board to start boils? Yes, Ellie?
Shin.
Correct. Okay, next letter. Tehila?
Ches.
Is correct. Okay, what's the next letter? The next letter. Ariella?
Yod.
Perfect. And the last letter is, okay, Adina?
Is it Saf?
Suf? No, it's not Suf. What's the last letter? Who knows? Okay, Eitan, you want to try?
None.
Close enough. Nun Sovis. Okay, that's called the Shechin. Not Shchin, but Shechin, because it's a Shvana in the beginning over here. So we talked all about how the boils was really the worst plague yet, because as much as all the other plagues were very disturbing and bothered them a lot, but this one, the blisters, do you ever have a blister? You ever burn yourself and then comes up a blister afterwards? It really hurts. Now imagine you have blisters over every inch of your body. And the problem with a blister, there's really nothing that can take the pain away, especially the kind that Hashem gave them with the Shechin. No matter what medicine they put on, it could not help. And as we said, even the magicians couldn't even stand up. Now, I don't think we got to the Mida Keneged Mida. What was the measure for measure over here? Well, this is what they did. They made the Jewish people prepare bath water for them all the time, either making it hot water or cold water. So therefore, they since they made it so hard for the Jews to make all that kind of water, now they couldn't take any baths. Whatever water they would put on it would be bad for the boil. If it was hot water, it was bad for the boil. If it was cold water, it was bad for the boil. So therefore, and more than that, the Egyptians never let the Jews take a little rest. And Hashem says, you know what? You didn't let them have any rest. You won't have any rest, because the boils, they couldn't sleep. The boils were hurting. If you lie down, it was hurting. No matter what you were doing, it was hurting. Okay, now this time, the Egyptian says, this is a horrible makkah. And Paro asks Moshe to come. Please stop this. And Moshe says, okay, we could stop it. But you know what happened? As soon as the boils went away, Paro did not keep his promise. Now, there's an interesting thing I want to talk about right now. So we have finished the next set of plagues. And this is, let's look at what it is. Remember the big bold letters, the ayin, the dalid, and the shin spells adash. So let's, I gotta move this thing. Okay, let's move this down and let's bring up this right over here. Let's have a quick review of, gotta make your head sideways again. Adash. Adash is the second three. And what was Hashem? The first three said, I'm Hashem. But now it's saying, even though Hashem Shechina resides in heaven, Hashem's decrees are obeyed by those in this world. Hashem controls every single thing that goes on in the world. And that's why, just like the first three, the second three are the same. We have the Arov, which is a mixture of wild beasts. Paro was, yes, warned by the Nile. The meat of Keneged Mita, they made a sport that the Jews had to hunt animals. The Egyptians acted like animals. Hashem brought the plague. The animals came from all around the world. The magicians couldn't copy it. And like the general at war, the all-out attack calls for the reinforcements. Dever, again, Paro was warned, this time in his palace, just like before. And the Mita Keneged Mita is the Jews had to plow the fields like livestock. Hashem made the plague, and it came from the animals that were outside. And in the war, the general infiltrates the city and poisons the food supply. And now the Shechin, he was not warned. And the Mita Keneged Mita, another one is that the Jews suffered great wounds and they couldn't treat their wounds. So the midst of boils, they couldn't treat wounds. And here Moshe and Aaron started the plague from the soot that they threw up. The magicians couldn't even stand on their feet. And here the Mita Keneged Mita, let's take a look at our amazing picture in the boils, is the general then bombards the city with flaming tar, burning the people. So Hashem's artillery was the plague of boils that was burning the people. Okay, so now I want to discuss something at this point in time. And I want you to think of a really good answer to what I'm going to talk to you about. Now, every time Paro was said to let the Jewish people go, he says no. But then the Torah writes a very strange thing. The Torah says that Hashem hardened Paro's heart. And after Hashem hardened Paro's heart, then Paro says, I'm not going to let them go. So I want somebody to tell me, what does it mean when Hashem, please mute yourself when you come on muted, please. So what does it mean that Hashem hardened his heart? Like we got a heart inside, the heart goes whoompa, 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 whoompa. It pumps blood through. What does it mean that Hashem hardens his heart? Okay, Eitan, what does it mean?
It means like he made him like stubborn. He like refused.
Okay, so you're saying he made him stubborn and he refused. Okay, so let me ask you the following question. Okay, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. He made him stubborn and he refused. So here's the question. When you do let's say your mother asks you to do something. Okay, now you have a choice. You could be a good boy or girl and listen to your mother, or you could say, I don't want to be a good boy and girl. I don't want to listen to my mother. Okay, so what usually happens? If you listen to your mother, then your mother says, I'm so happy with you. That was so nice of you. And now I might reward you. I might give you something because you made a good choice. On the other hand, let's say you decide not to listen to your mother. Then your mother say, oh, you made a bad choice. Now you have the consequences of a bad choice. I may have to take away a privilege. Now that makes sense, right? Because you got a choice, free choice. Listen to your mother, don't listen to your mother. Okay. Now, how about if your mother asks you to do something and Hashem hardens your heart? Hashem makes you stubborn and you don't listen. And then when your mother says to you, why didn't you listen to me? I think there's going to be a consequence. Do you think you're going to get off the hook by saying, well, Hashem hardened my heart. What could I do? And then, I shouldn't get punished. So what do you think your mother would say to that? Would she say, oh, that's a good excuse. That's a good excuse. I don't have to discipline you because Hashem hardened your heart. What do you think? What do you think your mother would say? Because now you maybe learned something in this parsha. What can I do? My heart was hardened. Yes, Ariella, what do you think?
You say that's not an excuse for doing that. You still have to do whatever she says.
Well, she might say that, but if you'd be smart, you'd answer, oh, listen, am I stronger than Hashem? I'm not stronger than Hashem. We know Hashem is all powerful. Hashem hardened my heart. It's not like, somebody saying, oh, maybe don't listen. No, Hashem made you stubborn. So I didn't ask to be made stubborn. So if I didn't ask to be made stubborn, now you see what happens. Pharoah, his heart was stubborn. He didn't let the Jews go. So Hashem punishes him more. That doesn't seem to be fair. If Hashem made him stubborn, why is Hashem punishing him afterwards? Do you understand the question? Do you understand, Ellie? Do you understand why it doesn't seem to be fair? That if Hashem hardens your heart to be stubborn, that he should punish you for being stubborn? If I chose to be stubborn, then Hashem could punish me. But Hashem made me stubborn. I think that's a really great question. Does anybody have an answer to that? Nobody's hands are up. Oh, Adina thinks she knows the answer. What do you think?
Because he's just testing you to see if you'll really listen to him. But if you don't, that means that you have a good choice.
Okay, so you're saying Hashem is testing you. Well, but I don't understand. If Hashem hardens your heart and he makes you stubborn, it can't be a test anymore. It's a test if you have a choice. But Hashem made me stubborn. If once he makes me stubborn, then I can't change my mind. This is a question that the greatest rabbis of the entire world, the biggest tzaddikim, asked this question. I'm going to tell you the answer, and I hope you guys are mature enough to understand this answer. I hope you'll get it. I hope you'll get it. Here's the answer, and listen really carefully. Pharoah has a choice to let the Jewish people go or not. Well, does Pharoah want to let the Jewish people go? No, he doesn't want to let the Jewish people go. Fine. So now Hashem gives them a terrible makkah. Oh, that hurts. Let me give you an example. Let's say, okay, Eitan, I'm going to use you as an example because I love you so much. I love everybody. Eitan, let's say a bad guy would come to you, a bad guy. He takes your arm and he's like 10 times stronger than you. Nobody else is around to help you, Eitan. Like you can't call your dad, can't call your mom. it's you. This big guy comes and says, Eitan, eat this chazer right now. So of course, Eitan will say, no way. But then he starts twisting your arm and it's starting to hurt. Are you going to eat the chazer now? So Eitan, it's hurting. No, I'm not going to eat it. But he twists and harder. And now, oh, killing me. And the pain is so strong. And the guy says, I'm going to keep pulling until you eat it. Now, do you want to eat the chazer? No. But how much pain can you take? How much pain can you take? Like your mamish, you're crying and you're crying. It's killing me. I can't take it anymore. Pain is a terrible thing to have. So maybe Eitan would say, okay, you know what? I'm going to eat this chazer, but not because I want to. Not because I want to, but I have no choice because I can't take the pain anymore. Do you understand? You understand what could happen? Now, no, Eitan would never want to eat chazer. He'd never want to. But the Talmud says, the Gemara says, you know, you can never know when a person is being tortured. He may give in. He may give in. But that doesn't mean he really wanted to eat it. Even if, I don't know, maybe Eitan will be the biggest tzaddik who'll say, I don't care, he could break my arms, I'm not going to eat it. Well, that would be unbelievable. But if he did eat it, we would never say that Eitan's a bad boy. Never. Because he said, I didn't want to eat it, but the guy's torturing me. So we couldn't hold Eitan responsible for that. Everybody understands that, right? So let's do the opposite, but the same thing with Paro. Paro does not want to send the Jews out. Okay? So what does Hashem do? He punishes him. A really big punishment. Paro said, I know you're trying to torture me. I'm not giving it. Hashem says, okay. I guess the blood wasn't such big torture. Then he sends the frogs. And the frogs is a little bit more torture. Paro says, I'm not giving in. He says, okay, I'm going to send the kingdom, the lice. Paro says, I'm tough. I could take the pain. I know it hurts, but I could take the pain and I'm not giving in. Okay. Hashem sends the wild beasts. Paro says, God, I'm still tough. I could take the pain. He starts sending the pestilence, killing the animals. He says, I'm tough. I could take the pain. Now, listen carefully. Here's the really important part. When the boils came, Paro said, I can't take it anymore. This torture is unbelievable. My body doesn't have the strength to absorb all that torture. And Paro is thinking for a minute, you know what? I don't want to send the Jewish people away, but it's killing me now. I'm so tortured. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to have to let them go, but I don't want to let them go. And Paro was going to let them go, not because he wanted to let them go, but because the torture was so painful. So, you know, Hashem did a miracle. You know what it is? Sometimes, nowadays, people get very bad sicknesses sometimes, and there's a lot of pain. The doctors can give you special pills that you don't feel the pain. Now they can do that. They couldn't do that even 100 years ago. And Paro lives over 3,000 years ago. Do you know what Hashem did without a pill? He made Paro like a superhero that no pain could hurt him. No matter, everybody else is screaming. They're saying, let the Jews go, for goodness sake. We can't take the pain. And Paro's saying, you know, for some reason, I don't feel any pain anymore. I mean, I feel pain, but it's not killing me. Hashem did a miracle, and that's what hardening his heart means. It means he gave Paro the ability to take the pain so he wouldn't have to give in because of the pain. Do you understand what's going on? It's like Hashem dropped down from Shemayim a magic pill that goes into Paro's bloodstream. It goes into his arms and says, I feel it hurts, but it doesn't hurt so much. I could take it hurts, but I don't have to give in because he's hurting me so much. And that's what it means. You know why Hashem did that? So Paro could still have a choice. He didn't give in because he didn't have a choice. Hashem say, I'll let you have all the choice you want. And if you want to decide to be bad, I give you the strength to take the pain so that you could still be bad. I'll let you be as bad as you want. And Paro, because he didn't have all that pain as other people had, he could show how bad he was. You understand what it means? He hardened his heart. So Paro, so let's say Eitan, let's come back to you. Let's say the guy's twisting your arm and he says, eat the treif. Then all of a sudden Hashem from Shemayim drops down a pill and it goes into your mouth. And all of a sudden the pain isn't so painful anymore. Would you eat the treif now? No, because you don't want to and it doesn't hurt so much. So the opposite is with Paro. Paro, Hashem said, I'll harden his heart. I'll let him take the pain. And therefore, he won't want to let the Jewish people go. And that's the idea of hardening the heart. That's a big lesson because Hashem wants Paro to get it more. He wants the whole country to be destroyed because Paro could take all the pain. Okay, let's move on now to the seventh Makkah. The seventh Makkah is the hail. The hail. And how does that fit into warfare? Well, now that you've poisoned the food and things are really, then you bring what they call the heavy artillery. You bring the big bombs, and the bombs, bomb you out. And we're going to see all about this next Makkah now. And let's see who knows what the name of that Makkah is. Let's go to the, I didn't want to do that. Let's go to the, didn't want to do that either. Okay, I don't know. We'll just go over here. Okay, the seventh Makkah, number 7. What is the first letter of the seventh Makkah? What letter are we looking for? Let me look around the room over here. Who's got their hand up? It's hard to see. Some people are not totally in the picture. Okay, Adina, what's the first letter?
Bays.
The first letter is, hey, what happened? First letter is Bays. You're right. That's the first letter. What's the second letter? Tehillah.
Resh.
Resh is right. What is going on? Resh is right. And the third letter is? The third and final letter is?
Daled.
All right, is Daled. Daled. And that spells, where is that letter? I don't want that
Spelled
letter.
Barad.
I need a Daled. There it is. Barad. Barad is hail. Well, let me tell you all about the Barad and why this happens. Now, Hashem says, listen, I've already taught you 2 lessons. I taught you a lesson that I exist. That was the first 3 plagues. I taught you a lesson that I'm very involved in this world over here, and I really know what's going on, and I can control things in this world. The last 4 are going to say that there's nobody like me at all. Nobody like Hashem. I'm so powerful, there's nobody like Hashem. So Hashem sends Moshe to Paro and says, you still refuse to let the Jewish people go? I'm going to cause, if you don't let them tomorrow, there's going to be hail like you've never seen before in your life. And Paro says, hail? I've seen hail. Hail comes down. It's not a big deal. Moshe says, it's going to be a big deal. And you better take all the animals that are still outside, that didn't get killed from the pestilence, and take them inside. Whoever brings their animals just into their house will be saved. And if you got any crops, any trees and things, you better cut them down, bring them to the house, because it's all going to get wiped out. So Hashem's like giving them a chance. He's giving them a chance.
The hail was ice and then fire around.
Hold on. Don't interrupt. Okay. So what happens is Hashem's giving them a chance to do tshuva. And Moshe takes a sundial and says, see where the shade is here? Tomorrow at this exact same time, the hail is going to come. Okay. So Paro says, why should we listen now? Remember, Hashem hardens his heart. He could take the pain. So I'm not going to listen to you. So this is what happened the next day. The next day started off as a sunny day. Then very soon it gets cloudy. Then it starts to rain. A rainy day. Paro said, this is the hail? A rainy day like this? Psh, big deal. But then the rain, you could start hearing, when you hear this sound, uh-oh, that means a storm is coming. A storm is brewing. Crash, thunder and lightning. And all of a sudden, Hashem was giving him a chance to do tshuva. The rain is coming. It's go. Maybe you should think about this. Maybe God's going to do. No, I'm not worried about nothing of that. It's just like, I'm going to do what I want to do. And then the hail came down like big boulders, like huge boulders. But a boulder of hail like you never saw before in your life, because hail is usually ice. So, but this hail had ice and fire at the same time. Now, is that possible? Ice is made out of water. Fire is made out of fire. Usually, when you have fire and water together, the water extinguishes the fire. And the fire and the water, which whenever they come together, the water knocks out the fire. Here you got this big hailstone with flames of fire coming out of it and freezing cold ice at the same time. So what was Hashem showing him? See, these two things no human being could take ice and fire and put them together and it stays. Either the fire is going to burn out the water or the water is going to burn out the fire. But the fire to go stronger and the water and the ice to be colder all at the same time. Imagine if one of those hail things hits you, you freeze and burn at the same time. This is crazy. And that's what Hashem is showing, that there's nobody like me. And you know what? You know what it's like? That hail? It's like Gehenna. I don't know if your parents taught you anything about Gehenna. That's a really bad place that some wicked people go to after they leave this world. And you know what Gehenna is? Gehenna is the hottest fire imaginable. That unfortunately has to clean your body a little bit if you do Averos. But if you do tshuva, you're fine. If you do tshuva, you're okay. You don't have to worry. But if you're a Russia, it's not good. For 6 months, you get the hot fire. And then for 6 months, you get the freezing cold. So Hashem was like taking Gehenna, the fire and the ice together and putting it together. And when those stones, they're huge boulders, they hit the ground, it looked like this. Boom! And everything's shattering. That's the heavy artillery. Did you ever, when I was in Israel once, I watched the Israeli soldiers were practicing shooting their artillery. And they're practicing and they're hitting a mountain that nobody's there. And you feel the earth is moving. So these hailstones, and it hits everything. And the Egyptians didn't take the animals out. The hailstone went on the animal, flat, done. It was unbelievable. The people wanted to get their animals and get them into the stables, but it was too late. The hailstones came and made big, big blocks like walls. They couldn't get into the barns. So they didn't know what to do. So you know what? The Egyptians thought, okay, we're going to be smart. I can't save my animals. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shecht my animal and eat the animal. And I'll take it home because it's going to get killed anyway. So quickly, the Egyptians took their knife, they shechted the animal, they carried it on their shoulders, say, ha, 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 I can outsmart Hashem. I won't lose my animal. I shechted, I'm taking him home. And as he's going home, huge vultures came. I mean, vultures, birds of prey, that humongous. They fly in, and they sweep down, and they picked the animal off the guy's shoulder and went away and was gone. And the boulders came and destroyed the trees, destroyed everything. But it didn't go where? It didn't go to Goshen. So the Egyptians said, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to go to Goshen. So they go to Goshen. As soon as they go to Goshen, a big hail comes right into Goshen, and it's like a targeted strike. Here's the Egyptian. He's running into Goshen, and one hail ball goes, wham! Didn't touch any Jew. Just touched him. And Paro was amazed by this. This was really bad. So now Paro quickly says, send for Moshe and Aaron, quick, quick. I confess. I sinned. This time I really sinned. Hashem is righteous. Yes, he warned me to get the paper, and I shouldn't do this. Moshe, please pray for me. Moshe says, I can't pray in Egypt. It's full of idols. Hashem doesn't listen to me. I'm going to go outside of Egypt. And he raised his hands up and he prayed to Hashem to stop the hailstones. You know what happened? As he prayed, those hailstones, they didn't come just from the clouds. They came from higher up in the Shemayim, like really high, beyond what your eyes could see. And when the hailstones were coming down, all of a sudden when Moshe davened, the hailstones stopped in mid-stratosphere, in midair, and just stayed there. Hundreds and hundreds of hailstones just stayed there. It stopped, just like that. It was quiet, totally quiet. It stopped. And then, of course, what does Paro do? As soon as he said, okay, you're going to let the Jewish people go. Now Hashem hardened his heart. He said, I can take the pain. I don't have to worry about this. It's not a problem for me. And he says he could take the pain. And he says, there's no reason for me to let the Jewish people leave. Now, those hailstones, boys and girls, stayed there for a long time. And many years later, when Yehoshua ben Nun went to Eretz Yisrael, had a big, big war with the bad Canaanim, the hailstones came back down to kill the bad enemies a second time. This is what the hail was about. Okay, we got to end for today. Tomorrow, we're going to go over the whole Parsha. Maybe we'll have a little game of some kind. There's a couple more things we got to talk about. I'm not on mute. I'm okay. Everybody could hear me. Okay, so everybody could go off of their mute and they could say, Sarayim Tov, have a good day. And you've all been amazing. We're going to review everything. Hopefully you can do a little work on your charts.